What if I told you that there was a war going on? A war that was happening all around us? What would you say? Would you believe me? Would you think that I was making it all up?
And meet these people who believe the same way that you do. Why not meet them and encourage?
I can't tell you where we are for out of safety for everybody else. But the one thing I will tell you is people can have a disagreement. We disagree every day when it comes to politics. People can have that. Not this. Nobody supports this. Nobody encourages this. Nobody wants this. I want to be very clear. I condemn any of this activity. This is not anything I support. This is not anything that I would be a part of, and this has got to stop.
Why? I just.
The objections to the certification and account of the Electoral College shade, thereby giving voters in his district and out on the streets in Washington Day the false hope that this election was somehow stolen and Congress could step in to right this wrong.
And I'm giving you the opportunity right now that your precious and beloved United States Capitol and our democracy is witnessing this. Call a spade a spade.
I was very clear with the president when I called him. This has to stop, and he's got to go to the American public and tell them to stop this. This is not who we are. This is not who his supporters are. This is more than politics. This is the foundation of this nation. This is the democracy that we are supposed to be the torch for the rest of the world. This is not the view we should see, and nobody should encourage it, and nobody should be a part of it.
And so,
by the president all along, he's now tweeting support for law enforcement, but he most certainly encouraged this and then amplified the pressure on Vice President Pence in a tweet right as the violence was starting. And he knew it had started, saying that Vice President Pence didn't do the right thing, to meet his objectives and all the things he had asked him to do, which are anti-constitutional. This is an actual attack on our government. This is a day like 9/11 where we have had something happen to this great country that has never happened before, but we will not have the sympathy and solidarity of other nations with us tonight. This is just a horrible scene to watch unfold. I pray that there are no lives lost, but the idea, I've covered Congress forever, and the idea that the two security failures happened is just staggering. That you would breach the original perimeter, and then be able to enter the actual building.
Chambers. AB, hold on one second, because.
This happened only within a short amount of time from the President of the United States, Donald Trump, holding a rally for his supporters in Washington, D.C., a rally at which, by the way, he referred to Joe Biden going forward as an illegitimate president.
And said a couple times.
Woman apparently who was treated for gunshot wounds, not quite sure. We don't know if this woman was one of the protesters or an innocent passerby, but that's the latest.
Next slide over. Someone carrying an American flag at someone's desk, some lawmaker's desk. This person wearing a Make America Great hat. People on the phone inside. Helmets again. Gas floating around because tear gas was fired in the Capitol. And then the other one here is guns drawn in the House chamber, as we had seen earlier. And some of these officers had pushed some sort of bench or storage device up against the door to barricade it so they could be inside and not let these other people in.
Continue to secure our locations, and we got to move forward with this. We cannot let them stop us, intimidate us, and that president will do anything to hold on to power, and we're seeing that happening right now.
Strong enough, what would you call it?
I think this is an attack on our democracy, and it's an attack on our government. And it's violent, it's not peaceful, and it's wrong, and I think that everybody needs to be arrested and they need to be prosecuted. We need to set an example, but first we got to get control of what's going on right now, and we have to make sure that members are secure and that this building is secure and that we can't have government disrupted like this. Bulletproof vest, and you need to go through security. And they're not doing that. They don't care about security, and they're trying to disrupt this process. It should be peaceful, And frankly, the president's tweets are a little late. Bulletproof vest, and you need to go through security. And they're not doing that. They don't care about security, and they're trying to disrupt this process. It should be peaceful, and frankly, the president's tweets are a little late. Not. It's quite the opposite. What they're doing is they've breached security. They've passed through, forced their way in when police officers were telling them not to. The fact that they're drawing guns and that we've heard that shots have been fired in the chamber is not because there's law and order. It's quite opposite.
Support the Capitol. This one is I'm asking everyone at the Capitol to remain peaceful, no violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you.
Be helpful in this situation and calling his people back, but he set up at the protest this morning, basically calling for people to march. I think Giuliani even used the word combat, and now we're seeing what we've never seen before. This is just insane, and we have members of Congress texting other members of Congress, checking in on each other, seeing if we're safe, how everybody's doing.
There's a tweet here.
Nobody could leave that building now safely, right?
No, just even walk down the hallway would not be a safe thing to do. I'm telling you, I hear something in the hallway, and I'm like, is that a protester? Or are they coming to look for people? Or are those friendly folks that work here? The tunnels, which are all connected to the members' offices.
There's pictures going around of people actually on the dais in the Senate taking pictures.
So you can't.
People who have bulletproof vest on. These are folks that have not gone through metal detectors because they breached security. So we don't know, basically our safety right now is at the mercy of what's happening on the outside and whether they're going to get security to come secure these buildings.
First thing that has to happen is take off the mask.
There were a few counter signs saying, stop the steal, the election that they think was stolen from President Trump. Others had signs that said, this is our 1776.
But listen here, Patriots, we got some work to do. If they can steal this election, they can really steal everything else. This is just the beginning.
Only a small percentage of those attending, though.
So what is it all about? Is it about votes? Is it about rights? Is it about Joe Biden? Is it about freedom? Is everybody confused? I warned y'all time and time again. It's crazy, but war is upon us. People are upset. They want answers. You have different organizations trying to make sense of the senseless. I talk to y'all on a regular basis, whether it's Dark Skies News, whether it's YouTube, the videos we do on our channel, whether it be Twitter, and some of the messages that we put out that warns us, not that something's coming, but something's already here. We're suffering. But not just us. Everybody's suffering. As we try to make sense of this world that used to be so simple. But now it slips away into darkness and confusion and chaos, anger and hate. You see fighting, arguing. People are torn apart when ideas are displayed. We lose our place. We feel like we've lost something. Some people feel like we've lost America. Some people feel like we've lost an election. Some people feel like we've lost our way. Well, today, it spills over. Washington, D.C. Los Angeles, California, New York, Chicago, Texas, Seattle. But not just in America. Europeans are upset. You know, because rights have been taken. Lives have been harmed in so many ways. And now we're seeing the result. I'm telling you, y'all, we're going to have to find a way to come together. We're going to have to find a way to find a commonality. We're going to have to find a way to recognize not just what's happening today, but what happened yesterday. Where are we going? What's going to happen in the future? Well, today dictates the future directly. What happens today directly impacts our future. Just like what happened in the past is directly affecting what's happening today. We think we know what we're doing. But I always say, to solve an equation, you need all the variables. So, let's do our part. May God have mercy on our souls. There's a war going on around us, all of us.